Good morning, children. Today we will take up History, Chapter 9, Traders, Kings and Pilgrims. The chapter starts with a small paragraph about the girl named Jagni at the market. Jagni looked forward to the fair in the village. She loved to see and touch the pots. Means what happened? That there is a girl named Jagni and she lives in a village. And she was very much excited to visit the fair because in the fair which used to held in the village, number of things she could see, like the pots, she could see and touch the pots and pans of shiny steel made of steel, bright plastic buckets, cloth printed with brilliant floral designs, and clockwork toys, all of which came from the city. But one thing was that all those things which she used to see in the fair, all these things people used to bring it from cities. The men who spread out their wares came in buses and trucks, and they used to go back in the evening, and they used to take all the things which they used to bring with them. Why were they always on the move? So she was wondering from where these people used to come to the village and where they were going. She asked her mother. Her mother explained that they were traders. Now who are traders? Traders are those people who used to bring the things which was made in their city or in their village, and they used to sell it in different parts of the city. So today's chapter we will be studying about traders, how the trade started in India, because archaeologists have found different types of crockery. I think if you remember that we have read in the previous chapter that black pottery was found in the subcontinent in different parts of India. So it shows that the traders used to bring this type of pottery from some other part of the world. So trade had started long time back. And we will also study about the trade route which the traders have followed to come to India.
Traders, kings and pilgrims. How the trade started in India, we will study about that. But first, let's find out what is trade. Buying and selling goods is what trade is all about. The sellers usually make a good profit, that is how they earn a living. But it is not all that simple. Even long ago, merchants were interested in making good profits, so they would bring things from faraway places to sell. They traveled across deserts, mountains, and oceans. It was very interesting. What did people trade? This trade was so much that a lot of Roman gold coins have been found in South India. Pepper was also traded a lot. It was so precious that it was called black gold by Romans. Gold, spices, and precious stones from South India were sold in the Roman Empire. There must have been warehouses, docks, ports, lots of offices, and lots of trading in these towns from the very beginning. Traders explored several sea routes. Some of these followed the coast. There were others across the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal, and sturdy ships had to be built for these long journeys. Traders also traveled by sea. Silk Road. It is a network of trade routes across the Afro-Eurasia, extending about 6,500 kilometers. Silk Road gets its name from the lucrative Chinese silk trade. Nature of the route. There were no single route. All routes started from capitals in Changan. Many other commodities were also traded. Silk Road spread out intermixed ideas, religion, and cultures. Although there was some trade between China and the rest of the world for some time, the silk trade was significantly expanded and promoted by the Han Dynasty, which ruled from 206 BC to 220 AD. Later, under the rule of the Yuan dynasty set up by Kublai Khan of the Mongols, trade from China along the Silk Road would reach its peak. During this time, the Mongols controlled a significant portion of the trade route, enabling Chinese merchants to travel safely. Also, merchants were granted more social status during the Mongol rule. The story of Silk Route. Silk extraction was found in China 7,000 years ago, but it was a closely guarded secret. The path on which people from China carried silk for trade is called Silk Route. Silk was very popular in Iran, West Asia, and Rome. In India, Kushanas controlled the Silk Route and collected taxes from the travelers. Their major centers of power were Peshawar, Mathura, and Taxila. Kushanas were the first Indian rulers to issue gold coins used by traders along the Silk Route. New kingdoms along the coast. Cholas, Cheras, and Pandyas. Kingdoms in South India which controlled river valleys, Kaveri, and long coastline became rich and powerful. These three chiefs and kings are called Movendar in Tamil. They had two centers of power, one inland and one on the coast. Kaveri Patnam or Puhar, port of Cholas, and Madurai, capital of Pandyas, are important. Chiefs and kings who controlled coast and river valleys became rich and powerful. They had two centers of power, Puhar or Kaveripatnam, Madurai, capital of the Pandyas. What goods did the Chinese trade? Besides silk, the Chinese also exported teas, salt, sugar, porcelain, and spices. Most of what was traded was expensive luxury goods. This was because it was a long trip and merchants didn't have a lot of room for goods. They imported or bought goods like cotton, ivory, wool, gold, and silver. Most of the entry points are in South India, and all of those are from the sea. The best known of the rulers who controlled the Silk Route were the Kushanas, who ruled over Central Asia and Northwest India around 2000 years ago. Their two major centers of power were Peshawar and Mathura. During their rule, a branch of the Silk Route extended from Central Asia down to the seaports at the mouth of the river Indus, from where silk was shipped westwards to the Roman Empire. The Kushanas were amongst the earliest rulers of the subcontinent to issue gold coins. I hope, children, it is very much clear to you all. Now here is an assignment for you. Find out, why do you think it would have been difficult to use carts along the Silk Route? Find out the answer and we will discuss about it in the online class.